We are so excited to have with us here a special guest all the way from Brazil with us here in the Commendum, Bruno Perin. Very happy to see you.
Yeah, me too. And I'm really far away, and it's so nice to be here.
And also, not to forget, Erika Drakenberg, who's also one of my associates here in Heartpace. And we will have some OKR talks with Bruno. And, well, firstly, who are you, Bruno?
Now, I'm just a friend of Heartbeat, but I'm a success entrepreneur in Brazil. I have a holding with a lot of nice business. But suddenly I start to help really huge companies to use OKRs, and it's really suddenly a surprise. And a lot of them have a huge success with OKR, and that's bring me here with these amazing people of OKR world.
And you have the experience of both Brazil and Europe because you are also an entrepreneur. You have investments in Portugal and run companies there, so you see a bit both sides of the Atlantic.
Yeah, and this is so nice, because we have a difference of culture and to do business, to think business, and the characteristics of the persons. That is really nice to see, and to have the better ways to do here and bring to Brazil and bring to Brazil to Europe. I think this is really cool, and I think this will a nice exchange here for the Heartbeat people.
Yeah. Well, what brings us together here is OKR, objectives and key results. It's an amazing setup on how to run a business, and we will cover a few different topics now in this talk. Take you through a bit of what to think about and what can be good experiences to bring along. And I think we will, pull that out of you, Bruno, all your experiences as being an OKR consultant with an international reputation as well. So it's great, really, to have you.
Yeah.
What kills companies? I think that's a really intriguing opening.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most important questions we can have today. Because every company wants to say, the market stuff, I need to find more clients, I need to sell more, I need to up my ticket, how much I'm earning every client, every sale. And I think this is not the answer. They are not looking for the real thing. The most part of the company, they kill themselves, not because they don't have opportunities. It's because they have a lot of opportunities. And just not market opportunities. They are not killing because, I don't have opportunities to sell. I don't have opportunities to make money. This is not the truth. Look for your company now. If you are an employee or if you are owner of a company, how many things you know you can make money? How many opportunities you think, I need to try this one, I need to try this one. And the real thing is that every company is not killing because they don't have anything to do. It's because they have a lot of things to do. And it's not just the company market. It's the team, it's the department. The department have so many things to do, so many things to try, they kill themselves. And I think the OKR is the best way to deal with that. Because the OKR, it's a way to say, have a priority. Have something to choose to focus. Have something, because you have a lot of opportunity and everyone has. If you choose better than others and you keep using OKR like a method to do that, you will grow up and have success.
You're touching on a very important aspect of prioritization. What does priority in its definition actually mean? It means one thing. But I think when you are doing prioritizations, quite often you tend to do a list of priorities. But that's actually a wrong adaptation of the word. A prioritization list cannot be a list. It's one thing. And I think, Erika, you had a point as well on the pandemic, that was something that kind of surfaced
Absolutely. When the pandemic came, naturally there were so many companies that were stressed out and worried, and so their first reaction was to do everything. So all of a sudden they activated and they started going in all different directions, and because we actually saw this in our research that companies did more but achieved less. So prioritization is important, and I think you also touched on it, Bruno, yesterday when you said you mentioned something, think long term, not short term results, long term.
Yeah.
So actually, instead of doing more and achieve less, you do less and achieve more.
Yes.
In a prioritization.
Yeah, this is really nice.
way.
I have a case of that, really nice. In Brazil, we have a huge company of tickets to show. The name is Baladap. And one of the investors are one of the biggest singer in the world today. The name is Gustavo Lima. I think he are one of the top 3 sellers of tickets in the world. And he invested in this company, the name is Baladap. And something like that happened because they have a lot of opportunities. Imagine, you are a ticket company. You can create a program of buy, you can sell a VIP things. You can do a lot of things with this business. And you can be crazy. How many opportunities do you have? And when you start to use OKRs there, the growth are more solid. You know, because they understand the velocity, how the speed the company can grow and grow a little, understand, make everything works and grow again. And I think João Carlos is the CIO of the company, is making a really amazing job. When he put the OKR, he understands, okay, yeah, I have a lot of opportunities, but I need to choose what I will grow, what makes more sense for my company, because the market is too huge. I need to choose one, and this is amazing, make a huge difference for the company.
So I think that is the essence of this topic, you know, prioritize, choose one rather than many. That's important, it will take you much further. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Great. So, what is actually, this is something I've been thinking about myself a bit, what is the connection on building engagement and using OKRs? You know, when we started our business with HeartPace, it was, we were very focused on engagement, on building engagement, and the foundation on engagement actually is knowing where you're going. And I think this is where it connects so well with OKRs. If you want to reach engagement, you really need to understand your connection to objectives or to how to make advances in your person and in your life, and of course in your career. I think this is like a basic foundation of humanity to go forward. That would be my take on combining engagement and OKRs. What would be your view?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I just want to put one point more. When I was in Las Vegas, I talked with some neuroscientists, and you know what is they make people really happy in the work? They feel really productive. Because
Productive.
Productive.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's about to doing something meaningful. You know, you really to do something and you that thing is real and make some impact. This is so good for everyone. And when you have an OKR, you engage because you choose the best challenge you can have in 2 months. And this is so exciting. You engage with that with your team. And you told me, first time we talked, I never forget it. You said the conversation is the soul of everything. And if you want to reach that challenge, you need to have a better communication, you know? Something like a huge challenge provoke you to have a better conversation. And another thing happened, and another thing happened, and engagement happened.
Good. I think you had some statistics on it as well, connected to engagement and success.
Yes, no, according to Forbes, this was a few years ago, 7 out of 10 strategic goals are not achieved because of lack of engagement. Yeah.
Even if it's a few years ago, I think this still stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an important aspect to understand that if you cannot reach engagement, you fail. And combining engagement or producing engagement in an organization, OKR is a perfect tool to make that visible on how to work and move forward in that.
Yeah, I think probably grow, because there are so many things to do, Imagine this connection, this opportunity, like the first topic. I think they lose more engagement because they have so many things to do, so strategic things to do. And probably I think more than maybe now is 8 or 9 to 10, I really believe in that.
And as you said, also rightfully, the talk or the is something that we have with us from thousands of years, sitting around the campfire, and that's where it starts. And campfire is a good analogy for OKRs and the check-ins and everything, that you actually need to do that in order to succeed. I think that builds that will build engagement in the organization.
Let me just say a really quickly case you said about that. A huge company who built the things for a show, the name is Feeling, and when they start OKR really soon, but the first thing they notice is how they start to talk better, because they need to be together to that huge challenge, and they think they start to understand. Oh, we are talking more important things. Hannah is the CIO of the company. Said, "Man, we never put so many strategic guys together and have a really nice talk, and everyone understand where to go." And we have so much better conversations when we start to use OKR, and this is awesome,
I remember you mentioned this in our last talk a few years ago, because you said we rarely discuss the numbers or the results of the week. We talk more about what we learned and what came out of it and so on. And I love that. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think it's maybe time for an OKR and success story in Brazil.
Yeah.
What would be a good Brazilian example of an OKR situation?
Okay, I will give a nice example, but Henrik need to talk a little bit about the example of Heart Peace too. I think it's fair. I've talked mine and you talk mine. I really like the story of Invent. Invent had a lot of nice guys. Junior is the CIO who starts, but have Max, Fabio, and Dudu. A lot of nice people there. But just nice and amazing people can make a nice work, but a brilliant work. A work really grow, reach the top of the mountain. Need be organized, need a method, need something. And they are really nice people, amazing workers, and I think they are 6 or 5 to Brazil. They work with SIP, ERP to make bank things, contract things, tax things, and they are that. And they meet me, and we start to talk. And Junior, the CIO, and Max, they start, help us to use OKR, help us to use OKR. And that time I just used my company, and they keep, and I like you, I like the company, I like the goals, I will try to help you, because that time I don't know how to help them. But we start together and they start to use OKR, and it was amazing, because 1.5 years they start to use, they reach the best in Latin America of SIP. They never draw about that. And it was funny because they call me in the prize and say, "Man, I never in my life, they sell our name, and we don't believe, because how we earned this, we never, I just sitting there looking, I can't believe they call my name." And it was so funny, and they earned the first prize, and I think three weeks ago, happened again. Was the first time in SIP when someone earned the prize twice, and this is amazing, and something funny about that, we are in a barbecue celebrating, and wife of one of the owners, Max, come to me and said, Bruno, I'm a doctor, I'm a dentist, and when I was there before the OKR, they are really nice, but look like a mess. It's a crazy company and a lot of things. Now, when they put OKR, the company changed. I go there and I think they are the best company, you know. They are really organized. Everyone know what the challenge is because they OKR. Everyone is engaged. Everyone like really want to do that, and it's so different company. And the price show that it's like 2 years and a half, and they are in the top of the mountain in the Latin America. It's unbelievable.
Isn't that it's really interesting how it makes things with the culture? The whole company culture changes when you introduce OKRs.
And the leadership.
Yeah, and the leadership, exactly. And I think it's part of it is, of course, also the OKR transparency. It's one of the foundations is that everything is transparent, and you do it as a team.
Yeah.
It's not individualized. So it's something you do together, and that kind of affects the whole organization and the culture.
And I think that freedom and initiatives that you can take with OKR also creates that ownership, that you really want to meet that goal. Yeah.
It's interesting, this external person comes into the company and sees the difference.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything about the business or about OKRs as such, but seeing something that has changed.
I think this is the real vision, you know, because someone there can see, but imagine a person, she's a doctor, you know, she's not deal with business, and for her to see this kind of things, imagine how big is the change.
Normally, it's great to hear a good story from another country, and you most common you hear about Google introducing OKRs in 2004. On the takes of Intel that really started the process, but it's great to hear other companies that we have never heard of, and that it works for everyone. It's not only Google that will succeed with OKRs. I think you will find today OKRs being used in all sectors of industry.
Yeah, I think the same. I agree with you.
We spoke a bit about prioritization. We said that that's one of the most important things about OKRs is how to prioritize. That's kind of a magic word. But what other aspects should one think of in order to succeed with OKRs? What would be your...
I think two things came in my mind. The first thing about prioritization is the leadership understand prioritization. Because generally when you want to put OKR, you understand you have too many things. You are trying too many things, you are not achieving, you're always making plans and never reach that plans, and then we start to see, I need OKRs, or you understand that. But when the leadership want to put OKRs, let's put a prioritization, let's focus on something, and then create OKR. And the second week, they come and say, now we need to do this. The prioritization is that, our focus is that. And the other week is another one, and another weekend is another one. And OKR don't work like that, and never will work. The leadership need to understand, choose, really invest your time to choose right, and this is your choose for 3 months. Respect the time, respect the people are trying to reach that. Choose well, and this is a leadership lead to understand, to really use OKR. If they don't understand what mean prioritization, what mean to have a focus for 3 months, never will work. Because why you use OKR if you need change your prioritization every week? And you never will achieve anything. And the second one, it's about to understand the process of learning. Generally, when we start to use OKRs, the first cycle is just to learn, because the people now have a thing who have a holophot, have lights on everyone on the company, know what is the focus of that person. that's it's a new thing. You need
Scary.
yeah, and you need to put in your agenda. You know, okay, I need to do the OKR, and I have my daily things, and you will learn how to deal with that in the first week or the second week. You need the first cycle just to understand how to work. And what generally happens? Generally, the people start to work in the OKR one day before the check-in. And this is natural because they don't have OKR. It's the first time. And the leadership need to understand the 3 months, the first cycle, the 3 months, it's just to people learn. It's not about to reach the goal or reach the key R's. It's not that. It's just they need to learn how now work with prioritization and the daily things. And the second time, the second cycle, they will understand a little bit more, and probably in the third or the fourth cycle, they know how to deal with that. They know how to put in the agenda what the daily work, what the challenge of the OKR, and will be more smooth, it will be really nice. You know, I think these two are a real new thing they need to know. I don't know you and you, Erica, what do you think they...
I would say my experience from that, it's 3 months, 6 months, that's very optimistic if you are trying to implement OKRs. I think the whole first year will be a practice run. And I think that's being too optimistic and is what makes companies fail. And they fall back into the more traditional way of budgeting and setting objectives that are on a yearly basis, and because that's what they know and that's where they are kind of comfortable. It's not helping them really to create their visions and making them great, but it's a secure comfort zone, and you have to leave that. And I think you need to respect that there is a time issue here, that you need to let the process go for a few quarters. You were, I mean, when you came to our company, you were part of introducing OKR. So what was your takeaway from?
Yeah, I did the classic mistake, like you mentioned, Bruno, of my goals. What was what I was meant to do? They were just like bang, bang, bang. That was my job description. But what I learned and the change of that is thinking beyond that, and what can I learn? How can I challenge myself? What can I experiment? And I was going to say what I think is important and what we practice in Heartbase is trust, leadership and trust. In the fact that when I have my OKR check-ins with my manager Nina, we don't speak numbers. When we have those meetings, we talk about what I want to improve, what I want to learn. So that's important, and that's being vulnerable. And so that's important, that relationship.
So being a bit bold and trying to set objectives and targets and ideas, visions that are beyond what you normally expect from yourself.
Yes,
that's what part of the...
knowing what the latest trends are in HR tech, hearing what the competitors are doing, and all of those different factors. Yeah.
I think one aspect I would add to the important aspects of succeeding with OKR is the check-ins. And I think one mistake which is quite common is that you think that these is just meetings taking time. And very important is to finish each month and each quarter and keep to the schedule of check-ins, actually discussing the process and where you're standing, and also being able to, during that period, to change.
Yeah.
Because you will meet obstacles and other things that will make maybe your OKR irrelevant, and then you need to be able to change and think different, or rethink your setup.
Yeah, I have a nice story I always remember. I think one was of the most memorable. Fabio once say he's a director of Invent. And he come to me one day and hugged me, and he's a really nice guy, and said to me, "Man, my life changed." And why change? And he said, because generally I'm like the villain of the company, because I'm the tech guy. Everyone make a fire and come to me, and I come to the company, and my thinking is I always busy to fix some problem and a fire and everything. It's terrible, you know. And now we have the OKR. I have something to grow the company. I have a really nice challenge. And then I start to notice, I come to the company and I'm truly happy. Because I know I have the fire, but I know I have a really nice challenge, something I wanna create. I wanna reach that thing, and I know how impact will be in the company, and this is so exciting. It changed my life, you know, and this is so awesome. I remember I talked that. I always remember Fabio talking to me about that.
I mean, isn't that what sort of happens in the sort of traditional hierarchy with score balance card? You have managers, but with OKR you create leaders, you create mentors. Anyone can be an ambassador.
I think we're speaking about villains, and you mentioned here something that that leads into the next topic, and that is the balance scorecard.
Yeah.
The villain in the group, maybe. I know you have some thinking about balance scorecard, and you as well have some thoughts about it. And could we summarize it by being the old style of setting targets, or what would you say about balance scorecards?
Please be first, Ed.
Erika.
Yes. No, It goes well along with the more traditional style of organization charts, obviously, and it's safe. And I think those types of goals set there are what you're meant to do, job description, and it's closed up and it's safe. OKR changes all of that, challenges that, opens it up. However, I do want to say that I have seen certain companies with the sort of older, more traditional leadership style and culture, and too big of a step into OKR might not always work. That can be too big of a challenge. So I recommend baby steps. Maybe start with balance scorecard and then maybe baby steps into OKR one by one.
Maybe one department or groups or that would start.
Exactly. One step at a time. Yeah. Or do you disagree, Bruno?
No, I completely agree.
I think you met one of the founding fathers of balance scorecards.
I saw it sometime just chatting with Bon Even and a lot of nice people. But the gurus of balance scorecard, if you see, they are talking about OKRs.
Yeah.
Really?
Balance scorecard was really important, but in the past, because we don't have so agility, so many things changing. You know, when we are talking about the 90s, the 80s, the things take so much time to change. You know, and balance scorecard is okay for that time. For this time, not, because you have so many competitors in so different countries, places, different people trying to do new things, and the world is changing. We have a lot of crazy things, and because this, I don't think balance scorecard serve anymore. A long time they don't. We can use that. The first thing is about the agility of the thing. The second thing is balance scorecard is to just keeping the things doing the main things. You know, like you said, your job description. You put there something just to say, oh, I have a plan. And what do you do if you just write what you generally do? Why do you use that?
Yeah.
I think OKRs is for the challenge.
I think what you're pressing on is we talked about survival, what kills companies. During the pandemic, one of the most important behaviors that the companies that made profit during the pandemic was agility. It took Salesforce 2 weeks to change their whole system so you could use it from home more efficiently. They did that in 2 weeks. That's amazing. Yeah.
So it's a new time that requires a new way of setting your targets and working with them and achieving your visions, and so I think that's an important takeaway from this topic. I'm a bit curious about what your thoughts are about being an internal, external champion when you are introducing OKRs. Well, you are a consultant, so Bruno, and I suppose you have your angle set. But I think you had some interesting aspects of using an external consultant or champion, so to speak, rather than using an internal one. I think it would be great if you could share that.
Yeah, I think we really need to talk about that, because all the time I saw a company try to use OKR and use a person inside to be a champion of the OKR have some problems, because tend to be a bored people there, you know, the people who are, how are your OKR, how are your OKR, and generally this person don't have this power. This power is of the CIO, you know, and the guy who have a OKR don't want to his colleague boring him, oh, what is you're doing, how is it going, and generally this guy, he need quit, he need go out, because anyone likes more this person. Every time I saw a company trying to put OKR and use an internal champion, that works, because that this guy will kill them in the company, you know. The better thing to use a external champion, it's that, because the people start to respect that, because it's like the voice of the CIO, you know. My company paid this guy to come here to help us to use better, and they respect that. When you use internal, generally, 100% I saw, they kill themselves. They just kill. And this is funny. They start to say, "Oh, OKR don't works."
Yeah, they blame it
No,
on
OKR don't work. No, you are not using the right way. Don't say that, because every company who uses OKRs in the right way is in the top. It's simple. It's not magical. It's a logic thing. It's a mathematical thing. And I think this is the real thing at the company. But generally, I just need to look the video and use that, and I will use it. And I have OKRs like.
Yeah.
And I mean, you almost act like an external advisor, a mentor in that case.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what is important, what you're touching on the CEO being responsible, or the management group rather, if you want to succeed with OKRs, you can see it in two ways. It starts from the top, because if you don't have the top engaged in actually establishing an OKR and standing by it, you will not succeed.
Yeah.
And I think having an internal champion, you could do it, but it might be more difficult. But without the support of the management, you will fail. So that's for sure. So OKR, it has to be committed from the top, but then the objective is not to forget the set comes from below.
Yeah.
So there's kind of two ways to see or look upon OKR. So that's a very interesting, some good points. Okay, and I think to conclude, I mean, we are going to share some things here with the audience as well. You have a paper, 10 things that they will not tell you about OKRs. I think that's a kind of a very interesting topic.
I want that paper.
Yeah, 10 secret things. Why would they not share that?
I will
not tell that.
Yeah, I promise I will share that. But first, Enrique needs to tell us a little bit about how he implements OKRs in his company. Everyone I know a little bit. It's the challenge, not just me. Enrique needs to tell this. After I will tell about the paper.
Nothing comes for free.
Yeah, nothing's coming for free.
But don't forget, at the end you can download the 10 things that they will not tell you about OKRs. So I think that's a treat that we will take away from here. Listen, when we started OKRs, and firstly, we have built OKRs into our system. Heartbase today is an extensive HRM system built around where we started historically, around engagement. So that's the core of our platform, it's engagement. And part of the engagement platform is the OKR module. So I got interested myself a few years ago, and that's when we met the first times as well. about the successes of companies, and OKR was at that stage quite a new thing here in Sweden. And since a lot of companies have started, but it's still a bit of talk of the town. So we are still in the adaptation mode now of OKRs in Sweden. And in parts we are also, but we introduced OKRs a couple of years ago, and I think what I recognize here from our talks is that we did all the pitfalls that most companies do. We did the wrong things in the beginning. We fell back into, I wouldn't say maybe balanced scorecards way of doing things, but committed OKRs.
Yeah.
You know, you put the targets too low and you start to talk too much about the numbers and things like that. And that has gradually changed with us. We also did not spend enough time in the check-ins, even though we propagate ourselves that this is so important. It's still, you know, in the everyday hectic life, you kind of tend to forget about those meetings and how important they are, and reduce them. So that's important aspect as well, that we have, taken that back. And today I can say we are doing it much more in the correct way. The takeaway from that is, let it take some time when you establish it within your organization. And I can see that it works for us. We have an amazing growth, and we have a very beautiful culture within our company that you can touch, I think, like in your examples that you had earlier. So it has done wonders for us. You as being one of the co-workers here, what do you say?
No, I would say that for the moment I feel like I'm in a flow. That I think before, when we had these OKR check-ins, we had the same questions and so on. Now when I meet Nina every week for our check-ins, there are no questions. She just lets me talk. So I just babble along and I say, yeah, Nina, I'm irritated over this. We need to change this and this, and I want to learn this. So it's more like she's listening, and we talked about leadership earlier. I see her as my mentor. And what I love about that is that she doesn't come with me with goals on like, this is what you need to do. She says, this is what we need to reach. And what are your thoughts on that? What sort of initiatives would you like to come with on how to reach that? And that's just perfect way for me to work, and that engages me, and that gets me passionate about my work and going to her pace.
Yeah, you see something. I listen to you, and all the time, when someone put OKR in the right way, is this sensation happen? You know, the sensation of the realization that this is really worth a lot. This is the DNA of my company, you know. Every time someone put in the right way, this is the sensation. I never in my entire life saw someone put OKR in the right way and said, no, it's not for me. Never, in my entire life. Generally, this is the OKR don't work. I go there and, you don't put in the right way, don't worry. We have a present. The present is really good. People really download that, because I wrote 10 things I really want to know before putting OKR in my company. When I create that for you, for the guys here in her place, I start to think, okay, what I want to someone stop me and say, okay, before you use OKR, you need to do that. I wrote that, you know. Just pay attention in these 10 topics, and it will be really, it will be easier a little bit to put OKR. I think it will be nice, because it's something who are in a long road with OKR and can share to you. And I think it was really nice to read, to wrote that.
I think that's really good. This is a very great appetizer. So download it, and you will get some really good insights. And the reason why they don't, usually they will not tell you these 10 points about OKRs, because you will become successful.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't want the competition.
Yeah, maybe.
So do that and get competitive and successful. It's a great thing. It's a great thing for your company. It's a great thing for your coworkers. So go ahead. It's great having you here, Bruno. And thank you very much for letting us having this talk.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's really an honor for me.